Hey you! Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of All Things Wellness. My name is Nelly Lutuli, aka Miss Nows. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of All Things Wellness. I come back. Yeah, guys, please, accept my sincere apologies for basically kind of going under. Literally, a lot of things, kind of hit me all at once, and I didn't feel like I could pour into all things wellness from a space of being unhealthy and feeling like I also need to get an pour into my life and into myself. Do a bit of a download as well because, yeah, you know, ish hit the fan at some point. But Tige, ngikhona sengibuyile. I'm here. I'm gonna be popping in. I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm excited because I think that we do have some things to talk about. Today, actually, I was hoping to chat a little bit more on mental wellness. And I'm going to relate it to the time when I was basically away and what was just give you kind of a little sneak peek into what was actually happening and what I learned from that, because I think that, yeah, I just began to experience life a little bit differently, or rather view life a little bit differently, but also just grow. I learned nje okuningi. So basically today I think I'm going to touch on environment, touch on faith, and then I'll touch on aligning. That's basically what I am going to tie in mental wellness. Please make sure, by the way, that you like and you subscribe to my channel. And please also share. Maybe what I talk about is going to help someone. And we don't want to lose out on that opportunity to do that. So please make sure that you share it as well. On the topic of mental wellness, what happened was, I left an environment to go to another environment that I thought should be the environment I'm in. And maybe it was at the time. Unfortunately, long story short, there was just too much happening, and at my workplace, to be specific, that I decided that I am going to leave, simply because it was really heavily impacting my spiritual wellness, my physical wellness, my mental wellness, and emotional wellness. Everything literally got affected simply from that environment. So this is why I'm making this my first point, because your environment matters. Where you place yourself matters. It has an impact literally on the rest of your life based off of this place, because this place is exposing you to certain things, other spirits, other people who come from different environments, who come from different cultures and backgrounds. And you know what? I love South Africa because we are the country that really believes in diversity. We are the country that believes in being inclusive. Or we want to be. That's what we're trying to do. Those environments then expose you to people who may be the opposite of who you are, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter that you have someone who's the opposite of you. Like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Kodwa ngezinye ikhathi kubalulekile ukuthi sibheke ukuthi okay, la engifuna ukuya khona nala engikhona ke align yini with where I'm at right now. And with me being in this environment, these are things that we need to ask ourselves. Is that with me being in this environment, is it taking me to a place where I want to be in? Is it aligning with the vision of who I see myself as? And if that is a no, then you should know that you and that place need to part ways. My environment started to almost break me in a sense where I no longer had the energy to even go to church on a Sunday. I no longer had the energy to look after myself in a way that I would have liked to. And there are consequences, obviously, to that. And so my environment had a big impact on the other areas of my life, including my spiritual wellness, my physical wellness, my emotional, as well as my mental. Right. I'm going to move on to my second point of just having faith. Sometimes being in a certain environment as well is good, because you then start to walk this journey of really starting to have another, level of just faith. Ukholwa ngempela ukuthi ngisho noma njengamanje sengiphuma kule ndawo ngingazi ukuthi ikuphi okuzolandela. You still have the certainty, the belief, the knowing, the sureness that things will turn around and there will be a great outcome for you. I developed that during that process. I developed it, it was painful, but I just was like, there's no way I'm going to be putting myself through this any longer, because it is so not in alignment with who I want to become and where I want to be in a couple of years' time. I was like, there's no way I'm going to stay here, and obviously just prayed about it, seeked advice, spoke to my family, spoke to close friends, spoke to people in industry. Is this decision correct for me? Obviously, with most people being like, bro, why would you do that? Why decided to anyway, I got so tested to that point where ngasho ukuthi ayilungile, angazi ukuthi kuzokwenzakalani bakithi, kodwa mina sengi-right futhi ngiyamthemba uNkulunkulu ukuthi uzongivulela le minyango le engithandazela wona. And he did, and I think my life has never been the same, because now I just think that literally God can do anything for me at any time, and he will take me out of the gates of hell. Like literally, when the word says that you have been given the authority and the power to step over snakes and scorpions, God literally gives you that power, and God literally says he will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And that is literally what he did for me. And I'm so grateful that today I am now in a space where I'm like so content. Of course, not I'm happy with just being where I am. I'm like, now at least I am in the path that will then lead me to the next steps that I see myself. It feels liberating, it feels good, it feels like I stood up for myself in a way that didn't look like it. It actually looked like I was not victorious, because it's like girl uhlulekile and usushile manje awusana lutho wazi nje na ukuthi wenza ngempilo yakho, and I didn't, but because of the level of faith that I then depended on, I was no longer depending on my powers, because I have no power. I then started to depend on the power of the universe, the power of imagining and manifesting and declaring things so that they may come into reality for your life. And it did. Believe it or not, it did. Your faith will get stretched. And it's a painful but rewarding process. But during that time when you are believing of faith, what I can assure you is that there will be provision. I did not lack at all. There may have been things going through my mind on really what's the future going to look like for me, but I had provision. I was taken care of. I didn't have any doubt. I had peace. So with faith comes provision, and with faith comes peace. Knowing, certainty, and sureness. And there's no anxiety, but there's rest. I got to rest. Oh, it was so nice. It was so nice. Like, just to rest and have peace and have sureness. Moving on to my last point, alignment. The first point of environment leading up to that faith and how it is that you navigate through that process ultimately leads to alignment, realignment, future alignment, now alignment, everything alignment. And it's so nice. You just you can just feel okay, manje, because that peace still remains. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the outcome is going to be what you had wanted it to be, but it's going to be the outcome that it's meant to be. Just affirming and the envisioning process of how you like things to be essentially leads to your alignment, but also having the inspired action to do things that will then take you to where you hope to go leads to alignment. You're then hopping on this frequency of alignment, and that you would think randomly would say you hope. You're flowing here, in your life. You're getting back to being who you are and who you actually are meant to be on this earth, So I just wanted to encourage somebody that it's not the end of the world if you're going through something that's not the best. But I really, it all starts in us considering our environment and paying attention to that, because it really does set the trajectory of your future, of your life, who you are, and your inner and outer wellness. I hope you did enjoy this little kind of debrief. I hope that somewhere, even if you can't necessarily relate right now, that something actually came out and you got a little bit of a nugget. And if you can relate to it, please drop a comment, give me a like, and let's start engaging about these things, and tell me a little bit more about what you do to keep your mental wellness, and what helps you. What things do you look out for? I'd love to know that. I think this is a number. As humans, we can never ever stop growing, right? So I think that I got a long way to go. Sorry. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of All Things Wellness. My name is Nelly Lutuli. Please do join me again next time. Stick around and share this with your friends and family as well. Would love to get to know you and them a little bit better. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye.